Welcome back to Week to Week. My name is William, along with my fiancée Laura and my brother Andrew. We run The Attachment Company. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for clicking on our YouTube channel. If you've watched any of these before, welcome back. For some context, myself and Laura run the business here in central Scotland, and Andrew runs our business in Denver, Colorado in the USA. And the whole point of this Week to Week series is to show you behind the scenes of everything that goes on, the good, the bad and the indifferent that it takes to run our small business. It's Monday morning and I'm on my way to the warehouse just now. Started off the day with an early morning delivery. We are less than 2 weeks out from ScotPlant, which is our biggest trade show of the year and the biggest construction show in Scotland, or start the build up for the show anyway. It is next Friday and Saturday. So by the time you're watching this, the show will have been and gone, so keep an eye out for that episode. It'll be coming shortly. I'm sure it'll be a long one. We have a load of different attachments from a load of different manufacturers that we work with. A lot of things that you'll see in here on a daily basis if you watch any of these videos. Some things you won't have seen yet. We'll have representation from Auger Torque, from Cymex, from Ecotech and from Kinshofer, which on that note is what was delivered this morning, some Kinshofer Knox tilt rotators. If you watched last week's video, yes, the end of last week's video, we were working on a customer's Knox. That's some new ones arrived here for the show, and when the Knox specialist is up, when Adam's here for the show, I'll get to show us around. Hopefully we get some time to film plenty of content, get him to show us around, talk us around what we have on display. Yeah, so this week is probably just going to be getting out orders as usual and getting things ready for the build up for the show. Hopefully the weather here in Scotland turns around. It has been wet. In fact, I'd say Scotland, the whole of the UK has been wet for the past number of months, so hopefully it turns around. We can have a good show, we can have a fairly hassle-free load in. I've done a little bit of work at the weekend there, getting a couple of things palleted up and ready to go next week for the show. Other than that, I will keep you up to date with anything that happens this week, or everything that happens this week, should I say. That's us, Monday morning. I got our flow testing kit back this morning. I'm going to go charge it up just now. Then we'll get another quick look at the Knox we were looking at last week. We can get some more diagnostic information down to Kinshofer, get some feedback on that, see where we're going for there. Alright, Monday update. It is about 6 PM. I'm back in the warehouse. Picked up a bracket this afternoon for a customer order for a little breaker. We'll get that assembled tomorrow morning. I'm about to put some paint on it this evening. Done a little bit more work with the Knox on the Volvo, and I may have found the issue. I need a bit more time to test it before I confirm that, but once I do, I will of course share that with you. There's a sneak peek at what got delivered this morning, or one of the things that got delivered this morning. I'll give you a show around them later in the week, once I get some more things together, work out what we're doing with them all for ScotPlant. Now I'm about to go, as I say, get some paint on this breaker bracket and go and do a little bit more of the work on the stands for the bits and pieces for the attachments for ScotPlant, and then that'll be us for Monday. One order going out this morning, the little GBN 10T breaker. If you watched last week's episode, that was the breaker model that we were comparing against the 10TL. Go back, click on last week's episode, watch that for the full breakdown. But it's a little GBN 10T with a bracket on it for a Yanmar SV08. That is a returning customer that had an Auger Torque package from us maybe about a year or two ago. I'll put a picture in here, show you that. That's an Auger Torque 1200 package on the same machine. So this is a breaker we picked the bracket up for yesterday. 25mm pins, 100mm pin centres. I've just assembled it this morning. I've put the chisel in it, I've put the hoses on it, I've put the couplers on the hoses. As with all our breakers, comes with two tools. I've fitted the moil point, but there is also a flat chisel to go with it as well. That's in there. This is ready to go. I'm going to get it in the box, get some labels on it, get it out here today. It should be with the customer tomorrow. Okay, one more order to go out this morning that I may have overlooked. Not that it's a big problem. It's just a single X2500 auger drive. You've seen a load of these on the channel by now. I would imagine they are probably our quickest moving product, or at least the one that we move the most volume of at the moment. So just getting that ready, sticking it up, strap it and wrap it to this pallet, and that'll be away today as well. Unless anything unforeseen comes in, that'll be us for orders for today. A nice easy one this, I don't mind these at all. Get it strapped down, get it out of here. I also reviewed the first draft of episode 35 this morning. If you're watching on your phone or your iPad, I'll link it up here somewhere. Go back and give that a watch. It's the one where I went to NUB to take a look at some horizontal augers that we were supplying to a customer, and I managed to get a bit of a tour of their facility. I wasn't sure at the time how the audio would turn out, but I was worried you wouldn't be able to hear it, but actually much better than I thought. So if you're looking for something else to watch, if you haven't seen it already, go back and give that episode a watch. And thanks again to the folks at NUB and to Stephen for giving us a tour around about the place, and let me know what you think of that sort of content. I think it adds a little bit extra to the weekly videos. Especially on weeks where there maybe isn't anything too exciting to show you here on a daily basis. So let me know what you think. With that being said, the next couple of weeks should hopefully make for some good viewing. We've got ScotPlant coming up the end of next week. We should hopefully get plenty of content from that. And then we've got a visit down to Augertorque and Kinshofer at Cheltenham at the start of May, so I'll hopefully get you some good footage down there as well. So yeah, let us know what else you want to see in these weekly episodes. Leave me a comment and I'll do my best to try and do that for you. In the meantime, this is pretty much ready to go. I'm going to print some labels, stick them on, get it out. Thursday morning, we're in the yard, we're in a forklift clearly because we've had a delivery, so let's go bring it down to the warehouse and see what we've got. I know exactly what that is. A little bucket for the stand for ScotPlant. I'll show you next week when we go to set up the ScotPlant. I'll show you where that's going. And there's some boxes came as well that stay tuned, because I'll show you them in upcoming episodes, because they'll make a bit more sense after we have some other things delivered. So yeah, it's Thursday morning, not a whole lot to report from yesterday. No orders going out, a couple of deliveries in. We had a paint delivery and a couple of other things. Other than that, was mainly just in the office responding to inquiries and sorting out some paperwork and sorting out some more things for the ScotPlant show. That was most of the day yesterday. Finished a bit earlier because we had some personal things to get done yesterday evening. So what's on the plan this morning? Knox update. The Knox tilt rotator we were working on. At the end of last week's episode, start of this week's, we have an update. Now I never managed to film some of this, but in the testing and in going back and forward, speaking to some of the technical department at Kinshofer, I think we found the problem. I'll put a little clip in here. That is not meant to do that. There should not be pressure in there. That's the main body of the tilt rotator, and that is hydraulic oil, which should not be in there either. So what I suspect has been happening, and again I'll try and put some pictures in here. I can't remember what I took and what I never took on my phone, but whatever I've got I'll put it in here. Took the motor out, the rotation motor, and what I think's been happening is been passing hydraulic oil through the motor. The bolts in the top were not broken, but they were slack. So I've sealed that back up, put it back in, relieved the pressure out of the unit, and I can't get it to replicate the problem anymore, which I suppose is a good thing. So what we're going to do, got a box delivered yesterday, which is oil for the tilt rotator unit. Going going to go and drain out all the old oil, fill it with the new gear oil, and go and properly run it. Actually go and operate the machine for an hour or two to see if the problem comes back or if it appears to be solved. So I think, I don't know, I can't decide what to do this morning, there's that much to be doing, but I think what I'll go and do is pull the drain plug out the NOx and just leave it for an hour or two draining out. Then we can come back, fill it up this afternoon and try that. In the meantime, there's some more things in here we can get ready for next week. So yeah, we'll go do first, drain the oil out the NOx, come back in here, get a bit done for loading out for ScotPlant, then we'll come back to that in the afternoon. Okay, that is promising. We may well have found a solution. I worked out there for maybe 15-20 minutes, no sign of the issue we were having, which is excellent. Also, NOx lube may well be the thickest gear oil I've ever seen in my life, because that took about half an hour of standing there just to fill 1.5 litres. But it's refilled. I've worked it there for a bit. Seems okay. I'll hopefully get some more time, maybe this weekend, to work it a little bit more just to make sure. But that's pretty good. Now what I will say, for the purposes of anybody that didn't see last week's video, I mentioned it all then. I know the setup that's on that NOx, on that machine, is purely for fault finding and fixing purposes. I would not supply that specific configuration to a customer. I know that gets some people going on the internet. If you want to know the reasons why, go back and watch the end of last week's video. But it does perfectly fine for testing, for fault finding, for diagnosing and ultimately fixing the issue that this customer's been having. So hopefully we're on the right track. I don't know what we're into that now, maybe 6 hours of time spent on it, but if it fixes it, that'll be a real good resolution. So with that being said, I'm going to leave that for the time being. What is on now, I'm probably going to have a little bit more done in here, then I'll go down to the office. I've got some things to do in there for a couple of hours before lunch. 10 PM Thursday evening. Excuse me, I've left my other camera in the car. I am done for the day. Before I go, let me quickly show you what I've been doing. Some more of the stands for ScotPlant. It'll become apparent what that one's for. Got some paint on most of them now, a couple left to build. We're making progress, we're getting there. We've got some more stock to arrive tomorrow for the show. And yeah, I'm about ready for it to be here now, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, 10 PM Thursday evening, and we are done for the day. Friday morning, I'm in a forklift again and we have another delivery. Let me get it unloaded and then I will show you what it is. More Canjini attachments delivered this morning. A TC280, I'll put the spec on the screen, but yes, it's hanging half off the pallet. A TC4, from memory, let me check that's right. TC4 150, a 1.5 metre wide flail. A TC2F, a TC2F 140, I think. Let me check again. Yeah, a TC a TC2 F140 front mount flail on Avant brackets. That's a real nice little unit. I'm going to leave that wrapped up. That's going to ScotPlant, so I'll show you that when we get it there and get it unwrapped. And a concrete mixing bucket, excavator mounted. That's definitely going to ScotPlant. I might make a little stand for it, or I might just leave it wrapped there just now and show you it when it gets there. So yeah, nice little delivery this morning. A little excavator mounted flail for stock, big one for the show, a front mounted Avant flail for the show, and the mixing bucket. You ready for next week?
No. Yeah. Nearly, yeah.
We've got left, a couple of stands left to build.
Couple of that.
Paint.
You not just got one to do?
One, maybe two.
Or you're going to add more, aren't you?
Possibly.
So a couple more stands to do, to paint, and then I need to spray paint the logos onto them once they're dry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alongside everything else going on this morning, there are, of course, some customer orders to go out. Starting off with an order for a little double pin cradle bracket for customer's Bobcat E26. If you watched episode 34, that little AW logo will be familiar to you. If you didn't, we'll link the episode up here somewhere, you can go and give it a watch. But this is the first of the top brackets that have came into stock with the Attachworks logo and the data plate on them, which I think, to be honest, looks really cool. And the brackets coming in with the plate on them with the pin diameter and the pin centres and everything on it just makes it easier for us, easier for the customer. I think it looks a whole lot more professional as well. So pretty happy to see that. These specific ones arrived in a container that we unloaded a couple of weeks ago, but this was us just getting round to actually using one of them. We've got some stock left in here that doesn't have the logo on it, so we'll be kind of mixing and matching between them, but from now on that's how they will all be coming. One done, one to go. Second order heading out this morning, an Auger Torque X2500 auger package. In this instance it's for a customer's Yanmar SV17. No, it's not. For the customer's Yanmar SV26. The only reason I knew that is because it's on the data plate on the cradle hitch. 250mm and a 150mm tungsten auger. I'll put the specs of the drive unit on the screen here so you can see it. Double pin cradle, sort of our standard auger package. Comes with hoses, pretty much ready to go to work. So that's the second order of the day. I'm going to go and band it to the pallet, wrap it up. I won't bother showing you that, you've seen that a bunch of times before. But it is midday, second order done. And then we'll get on to some more show prep this afternoon. Excuse the wind noise. Friday afternoon, while I was away getting my lunch there, we have had another delivery. So let's take a walk up and see what's been delivered. Even more stuff for ScotPlant, a couple of auger stands, and that is something big in the back that I will show you next week when we get there. It is 8 PM Friday evening. Sorry for the lack of updates there for a few hours. I was going through some things with Laura for next week. This week's episode is probably a little bit all over the place because we're a little bit all over the place just getting ready for ScotPlant, but I promise the content next week should be it's one of the episodes. I'm more excited for how the episode turns out than I am for the show, if I'm honest with you. So stay tuned for that. But it is 8 PM Friday evening. I am about to go and get my dinner and then work out for coming back out this evening, but that is probably going to be us for Friday. Saturday morning, the sun is out, it is 10 degrees according to the car, and you join us looking, actually not looking, just done the deal there on a new work vehicle. I say new, and by new I mean 6 years old, 100,000 miles, new to us work vehicle. It's not something I was really wanting to have to do at the moment, but with what's coming up, things we've got on, we need something that's a bit better suited for work. So this may well be the last time the old Discovery features in one of these videos. So yeah, that's the big thing we're on this morning. I've cut a little bit of footage in here just to show you what we are getting, and then next week when we get it, I will do you a full show around. That's the big news from this morning. Yeah, on the way back, going to do a little bit more prep for ScotPlant next week, and then we'll see what comes up for there. But it is a glorious day here for a change. Hopefully this keeps up, because that's my big worry for next weekend, is what the weather's going to look like. But yeah, that's us so far for Saturday morning. It's Sunday midday, I'm back in the warehouse, and clearly our one day of nice spring weather here in the UK has came to an end, because it is raining again. Yeah, I don't know what more to say on that front, but spent a little time there building up some more stands for ScotPlant next week. Trying something a bit different this time. When we've done trade shows and exhibitions in the past, I've taken a lot of product and a lot of things that needs assembled and needs built up on site. This time I'm trying to build up as much as possible before we get there. Like, so I've put in the drive unit on the stand, so we can just take one thing, set it down, and that's us done when we're actually there on the setup days. So hopefully that's a good idea. Yeah, that's probably us in the warehouse for Sunday. I had a couple more things to do, but the weather's kind of putting me off doing that. So what I think I'll go and do is get a haircut, get in the office for a couple of hours, plan out the week for next week, because it is going to be a busy one. A couple of things we need to line up for the end of the week as well. And yeah, just plenty going on. So I'm going to go do that. If you've made it to the end of this week's video, thank you very much again. I hope it made some sort of sense. It has all really been leading up to next week, so please tune in, watch next week's video as well. Hopefully we can get as much content as possible for you. And if there's anything else you'd like to see in any of these videos, anything you want me to add, expand on, whatever, let me know in the comments down below. And when you're there, hit subscribe, hit like, hit follow, hit notify, whatever you can down there helps us out massively. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.